Let me tell you, we've got severe weather possible today, tomorrow, Wednesday, maybe even later this week. We have tropical systems brewing up in the Atlantic and in the Pacific, and the entire country is going to be burning up for the next couple of weeks. So, welcome to the forecast with Dylan. Let's get into it. And did I mention a flooding threat? Yeah, that's also possible too, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's start off with today's enhanced risk for severe weather over portions of South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. Now, if you'll notice, this looks like Cinderella's shoe. This is for a 30% SIG 1 wind risk. The SIG 1 is back over here to the west, and then over here over New York and portions of the Mid-Atlantic, there is a 30% non-SIG wind risk. So, and we also have a 15% SIG 1 hail risk because those initial supercells that could get going back up in here, they could pose a risk for some large hail. We also have a 2% tornado risk over these areas in South Dakota and Iowa, and these areas here in Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. I think this should be extended slightly further east. I think it should look something like this, but I'm not the forecaster at the Storm Prediction Center, so that's not my call to make. But I won't spend too long on today because, it's going to be started. The event's going to be started by the time this gets uploaded, and you're probably seeing this. Let's go with tomorrow's Day 2 enhanced risk for severe weather of portions of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio once again. This also includes a couple counties in Kentucky. It's a very large 2% tornado risk, a 30% SIG 1 wind risk, and a 15% hail risk that is actually back off towards the west. So these same areas that are under the gun for that for those really damaging winds, that large hail and a couple tornadoes today are under the gun for that again tomorrow. We have a day 3 slight risk for severe weather on Wednesday, August 12th. This encompasses these areas in South Dakota, Nebraska, a couple counties in Colorado, and a couple counties in Kansas. And there's this large marginal risk that extends down in towards the mid-Atlantic. This goes all the way over these areas that are under the gun for that severe weather today and tomorrow. And it also includes areas in South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, all those fun places. So, and also, I shall note, currently it is marked as low predictability from the Storm Prediction Center, but there is a possibility that we could see severe potential Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. All right, so that's something we're keeping an eye on. Let's look straight into the tropics. We've got this system brewing in the Atlantic. There's a 20% chance of it developing within the next 2 days and a 60% chance of it developing within the next 7. And these probabilities have just kept going up. There's another guy off to his west, a 10% chance of development over the next 7 days. This one up here, also a 10% chance of development within the next 7 days. Let's look over the Pacific. This thing targeting Hawaii, this might be a concern. It has a 90% chance of development within the next 7 days and a 50% chance within the next 2. We've got one off to its east with a 30% chance of development over the next 2 days and a 60% chance of development within the next 7. We've got another one off to its east with a 10% chance of development over the next 7 days. We can take a look at this thing, trying to get its act together, and it's pointed straight for Hawaii. We can take a look at it. It doesn't really look all that great, but if we play the loop, I believe this will play. Why won't it play? There we go. Yeah, it has at times looked better. So, there's a possibility we see that development over the next couple days here. We can look back off towards the east. You can see this is our, kind of main area of interest within the Pacific right now. And you can see it looks quite organized. It looks like it is getting its act together fast. Same thing with its buddy over here that is slowly churning away. So this storm in particular, also this one could be one to watch. And hopefully they will dissipate. But if they don't, the track is expected to look something like that. So these islands here could receive tropical impacts from the system. Or sorry, these systems, because there's 2 of them, like back to back. Let's take a look at the ERO for tomorrow, Tuesday, August 11th. You can see with these storms, these severe storms that are expected to roll through this area tomorrow also bring a flooding risk. There's a day 2 moderate risk for flooding over portions of Indiana, Ohio, a couple counties in Kentucky, and a couple counties in West Virginia tomorrow. We can take a look at the models, and I can show you what I'm talking about. This is tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. You notice in some areas south of Columbus, we've got 6 to 8 inches of rain falling, and this is going to be within a very short time span. We can switch over to 24 hours. It's all within this 24 hours. We can switch over to 6 hours. A lot of it is within that 6 hours. Mostly tomorrow morning. Tonight and tomorrow morning is when a good majority of that is going to occur. But then we've also got additional rain piling on all throughout the day to build up to that total of, between 8 and 9 inches here south of Columbus. So if you're in that moderate risk for excessive rainfall on the ERO, you need to be paying attention. The golden rule: turn around, don't drown. And I think that's about all I have for today. I will try to analyze a lot of this because I don't have the time, and it's just like today and tomorrow, these are wind events, and there's not really a lot to show you. I could show you how the air gets drier as you increase with height, but I mean, you don't really care about that, do you? I hope you don't. Anyways, I'll keep an eye out on that tropical system, and I'll probably have another video this week with the way things are shaping up because it looks like we might need one. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.